The other developing story, the U.S. sending an aircraft carrier group to the Middle East to send what it calls a clear message to Iran. The USS Abraham Lincoln and support ships have been dispatched. The carrier was due to dock in Croatia on Wednesday. U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton says it is in response to troubling developments in the region. The latest U.S. effort aimed at increasing pressure on Iran. Gabriel Elizondo is live for us in Washington. So, Gabriel, this is part of a White House statement that was put out that explains this further. What did it say?
Yeah, it's a very unexpected and unusual statement from the White House. It came a little bit before 9 p.m. local time here in Washington on Sunday night. Totally unexpected. The statement was short, but it did mention that, and it's from John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, but it said, as you mentioned, the U.S. is going to be deploying the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Force Group. It's an aircraft carrier plus some ships around it, plus some bombers to the Middle East region. And I want to read part of the statement that's key. It says, they're being sent to the region to, quote unquote, send a clear and unmistakable message to the Iranian regime that any attack on the United States interests or on those of our allies will be met with unrelenting force. Statement just goes on to say, in part, the United States is not seeking war with the Iranian regime, but we are fully prepared to respond to any attack. Now, there's two key things that need to be brought up here. Number one is that this particular aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, had already been deployed from the United States on April 1st. So it had already been on a deployment. And as you mentioned, it was supposed to be in Croatia, May 8th through 11th, docked there for some normal procedures. But it appears that now it's being diverted to the Middle East region. Now, it's not unusual for aircraft carriers and battle groups such as this to be deployed to the region, the Gulf region, as a deterrent to Iran. But what is unusual is this. This is a pretty significant deployment here with the bombers. It's not just a normal aircraft carrier. It's really a battle group, if you will. And also what's unusual is that normally the White House would not issue a statement with such bellicose language, basically saying we're sending these military assets to this region, specifically looking at you, Iran, which is essentially what John Bolton said there. I want to just conclude briefly that just within the last half hour, the Wall Street Journal newspaper here in the United States is reporting that this decision to move this aircraft carrier to the region was just made within the last couple days after meetings throughout the weekend, that according to the Wall Street Journal, at least one source that they have in their article that just came out said that this is due to new intelligence that's been received by the United States, new intelligence of Iran possibly moving some military assets around that could, according to the Wall Street Journal, jeopardize U.S. assets or U.S. Interests in the Gulf region. That, according to the Wall Street Journal. Beyond that, though, no other information. We did reach out to the Department of Defense. All they did was confirm to us this deployment of this aircraft carrier and the bombers, but beyond that would not give us any more details.
All right, Gabriel, for the moment, thanks for that. Gabriel Elizondo, live for us in Washington.